Hi guys, this is Ruhi, and I'm very happy and blessed to start this podcast series with you. And honestly, it is more to do with mindset, philosophy, and the art of sales. You know, a lot of sales involves having the right mindset. And I have learned that over the course of my life and my career in sales. For those who follow me on social media, you know that I come from a background of abundance, and I am full of gratitude and thankful for where I am in my life and grateful to give back. As I reflect, I often think about what is it that makes one person more successful than the next? Honestly, is it something that we're innately born with? Are we born with different drives and different ambition to succeed? Is it how we're raised? Do some of us have to go through adversity and others don't? And those who go through adversity actually end up thriving because they go through the whole survival, Darwinian theory, survival of the fittest, where they need to survive. And so they thrive by fighting and being scrappy and making their way through life? Or is it that we are born that way because we are in an environment that we see where we have mentors and role models who are successful and who do well? And does that help us thrive and survive? I don't honestly claim to know the answer to this. What I do claim to know is my own story and what I have observed with the people I've surrounded myself with. Those who have been very successful and those who have not been very successful. But I've always been brought up with a mindset that you want to surround yourself with people you want to be like. And as I've grown up and as I've grown older, I have had a lot of friends, a lot of mentors, a lot of people in my life, but I've always gravitated towards people who are successful or towards people who I may be able to help. I've often been pretty humble in my life, where I've always kind of not necessarily thought of myself as someone who knows more than others. I've always actually been hungry as a student, someone who continues to learn and grow and develop. But at this stage in my career, a few things happened that actually really made me reflect and be grateful for how far I have come. And with that, I come to my listeners, the people who I coach, the people who are in my company, who I mentor, and I come from a place of abundance. You see, when I started in the real estate business 25 years ago, or maybe a little bit more than that now, I've lost track, to be honest, I always thought that I would, once I hit a certain dollar amount, that I would be the one who would have kind of hit my goal and I'd move on to the next thing. And when I did hit my goal, which was, becoming $1 million producer, I was shocked, to be honest. I reran my numbers. I looked back at my numbers and I was like, did I really hit my goal? I mean, I hit my goal too early. I can't believe that I've already done this. Now what? And for anyone who knows me, they know that I'm not driven by money. I am not driven by material things. I'm not driven by the size of the rock on your finger. I'm not driven by what you have, what you do, what you own. I could care less, to be very honest. In fact, I am more of the mindset of, if you have abundance, spread the wealth, spread the knowledge. And so, to be honest, I came at a crossroads. Okay, great. I've hit my goals. And now what? I've hit a goal. I'm very goal oriented. I've hit the number, my magic number. Now what? Do I want to make $5 million? Do I want to make $2 million? Again, whatever money we make, we don't take anything with us. And so for me, it wasn't, and it has never been, nor will it ever be, about the mighty dollar or the number that I see. It's more about, how am I growing? Am I growing? Am I hitting a goal? Am I hitting a milestone? And so if I looked at it that way, yes, I hit my milestone. And I'm very gracious and grateful for, my creator getting me to this point. And I feel abundantly blessed. In fact, so much that I decided to start my own real estate company. Now, as the market changes and as we have many realtors and mortgage brokers dropping out of the business, I decided to start my own real estate company. You see, one of my thoughts has always been go big or go home. And something I learned very early in my career, whether it was in my in the corporate world, or when I was in school, or I started my own little business, I've always known that you need to be hungry and scrappy in whatever you do. And you always have to be humble. So I decided that this year I would start my own real estate company with a wonderful business partner. And we started the company, and for various reasons. She has her reasons, I've got mine. But one of my main reasons for starting a real estate company is that I want to spread the wealth. And what do I mean by that? Well, I've been in the business long enough. I started out in Toronto, Canada, as many of you know. Though I am American by birth, my parents had moved to Canada when I was young, and I started out with a career in criminal law and criminal prosecution, which was kind of equivalent to what the DA is in the US. And I wasn't fulfilled. I worked with a lot of women who were in domestic violence situations, and I worked with a lot of people. My intention, again, was to help. But as I kind of started helping, I got a little bit jaded along the way and decided that the world was not as beautiful as I thought it had been. And I'll never forget, I had a mentor say to me, Ruhi, you need to take off your rose-colored glasses. And it really was a profound statement to me, because it really made me reflect that, I was raised by immigrants, wonderful, hardworking father and mother. And they always painted the world as a very good, kind, amazing place. I didn't know that there were people who were in these broken homes. I didn't know that, people who may have started out loving each other grew to hate each other and would be nasty and violent with each other. And so that statement that my mentor, Chris, had told me about taking off my rose-colored glasses was a statement that lives with me to this day. I don't know if you've ever had anyone tell you something, and, when you go back and you think about it, you just realize how profound those words were and are in your life. And so from that day forward, I knew the world wasn't as peachy keen as I thought it was. And I very quickly decided that criminal law was really not going to be where I wanted to spend the rest of my life. My dad was a commercial real estate broker, and he was a very hardworking man, God bless him. And I decided that I would get my license and at least help him. I learned the ins and outs of commercial real estate, selling gas stations, chemical contamination under gas stations. I worked on selling triple net buildings and shopping plazas and apartment buildings. You know, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about commercial real estate. And though it wasn't glamorous, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was pretty exciting. I am a petite woman, and I am a minority. And though I am a mix of minorities, I am still, petite woman, and very rare in Canada in those days as a commercial broker. But I would work with my dad, and I would be hungry to learn as much as I could. And I did learn. Did I ever learn? But I realized that commercial real estate wasn't necessarily my be all end all. It was nice, but I wasn't having fun. I wasn't in love with my career, and I was still kind of longing for something different until I discovered residential real estate. And residential real estate really sparked my interest and sparked my spark. I was enthralled in looking at beautiful homes, designs, curb appeal, how people maintain their homes, what kinds of furniture they had, what kind of decor they had, what kind of appliances they had, what kind of light fixtures. I mean, you name it. What kind of walls? Were they flat? Were they painted? Were they, wallpapered? Did they have Parisian plaster? I mean, you name it. I just got enthralled in it. And once I saw that side of me, which I hadn't seen in a long time, I knew that real estate was going to be a career for me, but more so residential real estate. So one of the things that I always ask my team members and my mentees and people who I coach is figure out what sparks your boat, sparks your interest, what makes you happy. Where do you want to spend your career in? I mean, and frankly speaking, it could just be sales. It could be real estate sales. It could be pharmaceutical sales. It could be software sales. But you need to figure out what sparks your boat. And I don't even know if that's the saying, sparks your boat. But what sparks your spark? Let's just say that. And figure that out. And that is your big why. Why do you want to choose a career in sales, no matter what sales it is? And the purpose of this podcast is to get you to start thinking about what it is that you want to do. And I will share everything I've done, everything I know in sales. Some of you also know that I have a corporate background with Costco and with IKEA, and a sales leader in both before coming into real estate full time. And I am willing to share everything I can with you. But the first thing I need you to stop and reflect on is why. And does it spark your spark? Does it make you happy? Is it something that you would be happy doing for the rest of your life if you need to hustle. Because I'll tell you one thing, sales or real estate sales is not a cakewalk. So if it's something that interests you and something that excites you and you're willing to hustle and work, then sales may be the career for you. But think about it and join me on my next podcast where I share what it takes to get your license in real estate, what it takes to get yourself off in a sales career in pharmaceutical, software, or any other sales, and the mindset and motivation you need to get you to your next step. I hope you guys like this. This is my first episode, and I would love your feedback. Please make sure to follow me on social media, on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and LinkedIn. Bye for now, and I'm excited to continue this forum.
I find it, I see I can do so much.